Have you ever just stopped and thought about how scientists keep track of, well, everything alive on Earth? From the tiniest little microbe to the giant blue whale? It is a massive job. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the amazing system they use to bring some order to the beautiful chaos of nature. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with a really simple question. What's the difference between a plant and a stone? I know, it sounds like a riddle for a kid, right? But this question is actually at the very heart of how we start to organize the entire world. It's that first, basic split we all instinctively make, separating what's alive from what isn't.
So, what are the rules for being in the alive club? Well, living things are made of cells. They have a metabolism, which is just a fancy word for all the chemical reactions happening inside that keep them going. They grow, they reproduce, make more of their own kind, and they respond to what's going on around them. A rock? It doesn't do any of that. No cells, no babies, and it's definitely not going to flinch if you poke it.
Okay, so once we've sorted the living from the non-living, easy enough, a much bigger challenge pops up. We're not just dealing with a handful of different life forms. We're talking about an incredible, almost mind-boggling variety of organisms.
Just to give you an idea of the scale, scientists have already described and named about 1.7 million different species. And here's the crazy part. They think there are millions, maybe even tens of millions more out there that we haven't even found yet. Imagine trying to organize a library with millions of books that have no titles. That's the exact problem biologists were up against.
So how do you solve a problem like that? Well, the solution has a name: taxonomy. This is the branch of science that's basically the official rulebook for identifying, naming, and classifying every single living thing. It's how we make sense of all that magnificent diversity.
I love this analogy. Think of taxonomy as giving every living thing a unique cosmic address. It's like a giant biological filing system that tells you an organism's country, its city, its street, and its exact house number. It pinpoints its exact place in the grand scheme of life.
So how does this filing system actually work? It's a hierarchy with 7 main levels. We start really broad with kingdom. That's like the biggest drawer in the whole cabinet. Then we get more specific. Phylum, then class, order, family, genus, until finally we get to the individual file folder, the species. Each step down gets you closer and closer to one unique organism. Now, organizing is one thing, but you've got to call everything something, right? I mean, if you've got scientists in America, Japan, and Brazil all studying the same type of fly, they need to be sure they're talking about the exact same creature. They need a universal language. And the genius who cracked this puzzle was a Swedish botanist named Carolus Linnaeus, way back in the 1700s. He came up with such a simple, elegant system for naming species that we still use it to this day. We call him the father of modern taxonomy for a reason. Linnaeus' brilliant system is called binomial nomenclature. Now that sounds complicated, but let's break it down. Bi just means two, and nomen means name, so it's literally a two-name system. The idea is simple, but so powerful. Every single species gets a unique, two-part scientific name. No more confusion. And to keep things tidy, there are just a few simple rules everyone follows. The first name, the genus, always gets a capital letter. The second name, the species, is always lowercase, and when you type it out, you put the whole thing in italics. Simple, universal, and absolutely brilliant. Let's see this thing in action. Take us, for example. We're Homo sapiens. The common housefly you might swat away, that's Musca domestica. And the wheat that makes our bread, Triticum aestivum. See how it works? Genus capitalized, species lowercase, all in italics. It's like a first and last name for every single species on the planet.
Okay, so we've got a filing system and a naming system. Awesome. Now let's go back and look at those biggest drawers in our filing cabinet, the kingdoms. This is the modern, big-picture view that organizes all of life. But this system wasn't just handed down on stone tablets. Our understanding has grown over time. Linnaeus started with just 2 kingdoms, plants and animals. Makes sense, right? But as we invented better microscopes and discovered all this weird, tiny life, we realized we needed more categories. That eventually led to the 5-kingdom system that R.H. Whitaker came up with in 1969, and it's the one we mostly use today.
All right, this table is really the heart of it all. The 5 kingdoms are sorted based on a few key differences, so let's walk through this. The first huge split is the cell type. Kingdom Monera, that's basically bacteria, they're what we call prokaryotes. Their cells are super simple, no nucleus. Every other kingdom, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia, are eukaryotes.
Our cells are more complex. We have a nucleus that holds our DNA. Okay, then we look at how they get food. Plants, in the kingdom Plantae, are autotrophic. They make their own food using sunlight. But fungi and animals were heterotrophic. We have to eat other things for energy. It's these really fundamental differences that decide which big drawer each living thing belongs in.
This is all really cool, but let's make it personal. Where do you and I fit into all this? Let's trace our own cosmic address through this incredible system and bring this grand classification of life right back home.
So let's find our address. We'll start at the very top. We are in kingdom Animalia because we're made of many cells and, we have to eat dinner to get our energy.
Next level down, we're in the phylum Chordata. This is the group for all animals that have a spinal cord. That's our backbone, giving us our structure.
Within that group, we're in the class Mammalia. This one's pretty familiar. We're warm-blooded, we have hair or fur, and we feed our babies milk.
Getting even more specific, our order is primates. We share this group with monkeys and apes. It's a group known for having relatively large brains and grasping hands.
Our family is Hominidae. This narrows it down to the great apes. That's us, along with our closest living relatives, chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans.
And now we get to our first name. Our genus is Homo. This group includes us, modern humans, and our closest extinct relatives, like the Neanderthals.
And finally, that brings us to our unique species name, sapiens. So you put it all together, and there it is, our complete, unique biological address, Homo sapiens. It means wise human, our very own precise file in the great filing cabinet of life.
So this amazing system organizes everything we know about life on Earth right now. But as we saw, science is always changing, always learning. We went from 2 kingdoms to 5. So it leaves you with a really fascinating question. What happens the next time we find some organism deep in the ocean or frozen in ice that's so strange, so different that it just doesn't fit? What happens when we have to redraw the entire map of life all over again? What would that even look like?